out to the car and I brought it home. I said, "Oh my gosh, that's why there's nobody. That's why there's only old people in Walmart. Right. The young people have a different way of doing things, right?" And then I somebody was telling me, you know what you should do? Get this app for the movie theater. Okay, why? Because you don't got to stand in line. Mm-hmm. What? No. All right. So I get this app for the movie theater. I say to you, Robert, you want to go see a movie? Okay, let's go to a movie. We pick a movie. It just feels weird. We're just walking in. All those people in line. We're just walking right past them like we're some kind of VIP.
I know.
Go to the guy. He says, "You just scan it right here." Really? I mean, we're okay? We didn't wait in line? No, good. We went right in. I'm telling you, the kids got to figure out how to do it better, right?
Yeah.
Don't be resistant to this because the world is better. Now I got to figure out how to use FastPass at Disney, and then I'll be good. I haven't figured that one out. Guy Costin is on the phone. He is an entrepreneur, an innovator, a thought leader, the founder and CEO of Dakota, which is an investment services company. Yeah, I was reading. Yes, he's into marketing, isn't he?
Yeah.
His book is called Millennials Are Not Aliens. But they are 80 million Americans who are changing how we buy, sell, vacation, invest, and just about everything else. Guy Costin, this is an interesting topic. Good morning, Guy. Thank you for being on the show with us.
Thank you for having me.
And where are you? Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Philadelphia, just outside Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. There's an accordion shop in Philadelphia.
Yes, there is.
It's called Liberty Bellows. Have you ever heard of it?
I'm not.
Well, I play the accordion. Yeah. So, are you a millennial yourself?
I'm not. I'm a Gen Xer. So I'm 52 years old.
Okay. I never know what any of that stuff means, Robin.
We're old.
Successfully selling to the
baby boomers.
So now, selling is a big thing. I mean, I was looking at, what was I looking at? Oh, I was looking at a bicycle rack for the back of the car, right? I found this company that sells them, and it had everything I needed, and they said they could have it to me in 5 days. I went to Amazon, found the same thing, same price. They could get it to me in 1 day. Well, guess which one I picked? Mm-hmm. So we need to figure out how to do it right. Otherwise, all the businesses are going to go under. Right?
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, the whole thing with the millennials is, and I think I love your Walmart story. I mean, that's just classic. So those are the internet. So October 13th, 1994, the Mosaic browser, Netscape, it commercialized the internet. And the oldest millennial was 13 at that point. And so they developed all these different habits, much different than you or I or anyone who didn't, as I say, browse the aisles of a Blockbuster, call a Barnes & Noble to see if a book's in stock. All those types of habits that we were so used to having, the internet enabled so many different habits for them. Right. And it's really critical that these next generations figure out those habits so we can appeal to them.
And does that also include people still being loyal to the brands that they love, or do millennials jump around?
No, I think millennials are very loyal. They love brands, so they're incredibly loyal to their brands. Probably the Gen Zs, the next generation, are a little bit less loyal, if you will. But there's absolutely no doubt that they are very loyal to the brands. I just think in terms of efficiency of communication, efficiency of doing things. Like I think you were saying, your niece was going to Walmart. Mm-hmm. It was just so much more efficient to order on the phone and just go pick it up, right? Just go to a Starbucks. I mean, the app has fundamentally changed my relationship with Starbucks. Those long lines, ordering, waiting in line. Now you just go, you order, you pick up. You can do that at Chipotle now. So the concept of waiting in line, even for millennials, is so foreign. Right, all the people waiting in line are Gen Xers and baby boomers.
Oh, I have a lot of catching up to do. I didn't know you could do that with Starbucks. Wow,
DJ does that all the time.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I did not. Now, Robert and I we're kind of relatively new to this. I can tell you when. When did we go to New York, Robert?
Last Thanksgiving. Yeah.
So 2007.
Yes.
So I'm 17? Listen to me.
2017.
2017. Yeah. Okay. So that's when we got smartphones. And the reason we got them was so we could use Uber, because I'm from New York, and the taxi cab was always the way to do it. Mm-hmm. But everybody said, no, you got to get this thing called Uber. Well, I loved it. I mean, all I got to do is push a button. Here comes a car. And yes. Yeah. That's outstanding. I love Uber. And here's the thing. If you're in Manhattan, you can get a cab anywhere. But if you're on Long Island, it's hard to get a cab at 2 a.m. Don't ask me why we were out there at 2 a.m, but we were. But we had Uber right there. I pushed the button. Here comes the guy. It was amazing.
So what?
And that's really what. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So you must have had to do a lot of research throughout the generations, and just with millennials themselves. Were you able to speak with any and get them to trust you?
Yes, 100%.
So what?
And really, what we've done is I did all this research, but what really happened, it was very anecdotal. And so what I was doing is we were in our business and we were trying to get meetings, and we were realizing that the millennials were like, look, we're really, really busy. We don't have the time to meet with you face to face. And so then we started to think, all right, if we're going to change our business, should we make it much easier to learn about our products without having them have to meet with us? So you think what Amazon's done so well, not only the delivery, but you can learn about any product with a great level of depth on Amazon, and you never have to talk to a salesperson.
So
if you start to think about connecting right with millennials, you got to create content.
Okay, so is the book for the rest of us? Does the book teach us how to sell in a more streamlined way, whether it's millennials or retirees or anybody in between?
Yes. So the book is really about a call to action to motivate Gen Xers and baby boomers to do a couple things. Number one, create content so they can learn about you and your products without having to initially talk to you, and so they can develop a connection. Millennials, and I'm not here to judge anything, social media and content has really changed how they relate. So we might relate face to face. Those millennials really relate over the internet, over social media, over content, and that's how they develop the relationships. They might not ever talk to you, but see a video of a brand or see a video of someone talking about a product, and that's really what they're accustomed to doing. And I'll go in the back of the book. I commissioned a study, and it's about 30 slides that I put in the back of the book. One of the slides, and this is how important content is to millennials. There was 4 choices of this question: how important is content to you to develop a relationship with a company online? And they basically said if they don't have content, 25% said I believe they're hiding something. So it's not like, oh, it frustrates me, I can't find you. Mm-hmm. It's actually, I think you're with willful intent hiding something from me.
Okay,
that's crazy, right? If you think about it, and then a lot of people don't even have anything on YouTube on their products.
Okay, so that partially answers the question I had. So what would be an example of content? A YouTube video would be an example. So if I go to buy, for example, a bicycle rack, and in fact they did this. They had a video of the bicycle rack, and I said, oh, okay, now I understand how it works. I'm going to buy it. So they did have content. Is that the biggie, to have a video? Is that always a big one?
Yes, 100%. The video is the here and now and the future. The game's over. It's not even okay. So there's 5 billion videos watched every day on YouTube. 5 billion, and that's a YouTube statistic. So video is everything. Retention is 92% greater 30 days after watching a video versus reading something. So videos, and it's also much more relationship driven. So if you see a video of the guy with the bike rack, describing the bike rack, how you install it, how you put it in your car, how easy it is, how you take it off, everything, you're like, wow, okay, I got it. This is awesome. And actually, I kind of like the personality. He's a nice guy, right? And I'm going to get it in one day from Amazon. I'm done, right? So the problem that we have, and what the book's all about, is this fear factor. On the call right now, we didn't go up shooting video of one another. We didn't do selfies. We weren't so comfortable in front of the camera as this next generation is. And so we're reluctant to do stuff like this. And all you really have to do is pick up your iPhone and start filming or videoing. It's really just that simple. But people are reluctant. They're scared. And the book's about motivating to kind of push through that fear and just how important it is. Because I don't want to be so draconian, but you will get left behind.
Okay, so
there will be other choices.
So answer the question that every business person listening wants to know the answer to this one. So let's take a guy who sells eggs, a farmer. He sells eggs. Mm-hmm. He wants the millennials to buy his eggs. He picks up his phone. He does a video. He says, hey, you got to get my eggs. These are really good. Let me show you how I take care of the chickens. He turns his camera around. Boom, there's the chickens. And it's us. It's me and Mama. And we make the chicken eggs, and come and buy some chicken eggs. Okay. How does he get them to see the video?
So first you have to create the content, right? Now you're getting at how you market the content. And so I'll give you one little statistic that I think will answer a lot of the question. In the last 2 years, the concept of a how to do something video, so how to sew something, how to fix this, how to do this, has increased 12 times on YouTube. So what you end up doing is you have to think in terms of essentially adding value. So it's one thing, we all want to sell our product, right? So you raise your hand and say, hey, look, I don't want to actually market to you. I just want to produce something and then you buy it. Well, that's just not the way the world works. You need to develop a relationship with your audience. And so it might be other things the farmer could do, or some things like, hey, this is how you make some great eggs. This is how we take our fresh eggs and this is a special way to make an omelet. This is a special way to make a poached egg with some salt or some oil. Just different stuff like that where they become known as the chicken people. Right. And so now, but you're adding value. It's like, oh, I found that recipe because I go on and I love this and I ordered the eggs or whatever it might be. Right. So it's doing stuff like that adds value to people's lives for free. And then what ends up happening is they develop trust and confidence in you, and then they buy from you.
That is a brilliant idea. Oh my gosh, that is good information. So is the book for the business person to help them better market to everybody, not just millennials?
Yes, and so the distinction I would give you for the book it's basically looking at millennials from two different lenses. One is how to sell to them, which we've been talking about. And then the other is how to interact with them as your employees. And here's, on that path, which we haven't got, I would say the biggest distinction I can give you is that when any millennial or Gen Z wakes up in the morning, their life is fully automated. On their smartphone, they can get food. They can get a car to take them somewhere. They can order coffee. They can literally do it. They can look at their checkbook. They can make a stock trade. They can do anything without talking to anybody. Everything's fully automated. They then show up to work, and it's like old school. It's nothing like their personal life. And so it's frustrating if a company, so you need to bring the two together. So businesses have to think, okay, if we're going to employ millennials, we have to have a lot of social apps. We have to have Slack. We have to have certain things that engage millennials and automate their business life so it's more like their personal life. If you can accomplish that, it's how do we employ them and coach them and lead them, which is really important. And then on the other side, it's how do we sell to them. And they're kind of both very, very similar, but if that makes sense, that's the distinction. And like, for instance, at your radio station, right, you're going to have all these young people. Are you going to still work in old school ways, or are you going to bring all the social media and all the efficiencies and all the automation to the business?
So when a person starts up a business, should that business worry about having a brick and mortar store and just do everything online and forget the brick and mortar?
Well, I think you can do both. It's a lot. I mean, obviously, it's a lot easier to go online, but there's been a lot of successful retail operations in the last 10 years that are very experiential, that have done very, very well. But at the same time, the good news is anybody can. If anybody has a great product and a neat idea, they can be up and running online in almost no time. Now it's just a matter of how you reach your customers, and then it's also how you create content so they can connect with you. And it's all about the level of connection. I'll give you one more in terms of how important this is. If you're trying to attract top talent, and I would say any business should focus on this, is that a lot of millennials, almost all of them, will go online to check you out first. And if they can't find information on your company, your culture, who you are, they're on to the next employer. So I think there's that component. But yes, I believe you can make a choice. But it's a lot less expensive and a lot less risky to start off online and then migrate to a store. Because a store is long-term leases. It's expensive to do the fit out. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do there, whereas online you can go up and running in no time. And then if you feel that there's a need for a store, you can do that.
Yeah, the example I gave in the beginning was two places I would order online from, but I had another example, and just real briefly, it was Best Buy. We have a Best Buy store right next to the mall, and we broadcast from the mall, just so you know that. So they had something I also wanted. They also would take, I think it was like 10 days, it said.
Yeah.
And I could get it tomorrow on Amazon. And I thought, oh my gosh, well, you just lost business. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they don't understand that, but I think what you are saying we need to pay attention to, and I love the how-to video part of that. I mean, that was very ingenious. So how are you marketing your book? Are you using these same ideas to market the book?
Absolutely. We've been all over LinkedIn, but the goal is really to try to provide value for free to market the book and establish yourself as an authority. And so, yes, we're using a lot of the similar channels to engage, but what you're trying to do is really give value, and then people start to really believe in you and believe that you actually are an expert. And it just doesn't happen overnight. So you have to keep repeating the message time and time again.
I see. So so the book becomes almost like an ad. It serves the person who reads it, but at the same time promotes you as somebody, as an advisor. Do you do speaking engagements at colleges, for example?
I do. It's so my sole purpose isn't to become a paid speaker, but I will speak anywhere. I do, for our industry, I do want to be seen as the millennial expert, and then how financial services firms and investment firms should be thinking about interacting with millennials. Because I'll give you a crazy statistic, if you're in the financial advisory business, is that there's $30 trillion that's going to be inherited over the next 30 years by millennials. And people like to debate that number, but it's going to be a big number no matter what it is. And then 70% of the financial advisors lose the kids as clients upon inheritance. So
wow.
You start to think about that, and that really hit me. So I said, we need to, as an industry, we need to be able to provide more information and content that's millennial friendly on investing, on investments, on your personal investments, on your 401k. And so then that financial advisor might not ever talk to the kid, but they can interact with them through texting, through an online platform where they develop a relationship around the investments. But unfortunately, most of these financial advisors, I think the average age of the financial advisor is almost 60. So they're not in tune with that, how to communicate. And I think it's so important. And millennials are very into it. And they're probably the most investment savvy generation of all time for one reason. They've had all the tools to be able to trade ETFs and everything since they were 15 years old.
Interesting.
And so they're very savvy investment professionals.
The book is available as a hardcover, an audiobook, and a Kindle. So what are the millennials most likely to go to? And I realize that in many cases the Kindle is cheaper, but is that the real driving reason why somebody would buy a Kindle? Or is Kindle or the electronic book, is that really more likely to be the way a millennial reads a book?
So I would say Kindle, then I would also say audio. So millennials are so accustomed to being able to listen to anything at any time. And this goes for a lot of other generations, but for the most part, I would say it's even more audio because they have time in their car, they're on their headphones a lot, as you know, and these are all these habits. Just conveniences. Just think of millennials. So the book, definitely audio. Think of millennials want freedom. The internet gave them freedom. And so everything is going to revolve around freedom. I want to work and play, right? So I don't want to be tied to a desk, not a 9-to-5 job. But by the way, I'll work 7 days a week. I just don't want to work in the same place 7 days a week. I want to communicate efficiently, however I want to. I just want freedom. And I think that's what the internet's given. And I think what Google's been saying about their workplace, they are going to end up, they think in 20 years, be so much more virtual than they are today. So you're going to get into this world where it's going to be okay not to have to show up to an office.
And have the millennials created their own social media place to be? Like there's Facebook and Instagram and all of that, but have they created something new now?
It's funny. I think that Instagram has really replaced Facebook. And if you just talk to any millennial, you just walk by them, they're on their phone. They're just combing through pictures on Instagram, the stories, all of that, all those posts. It's how they get their news. It's how they communicate with their friends. It's visual. And the statistics will show that it's all visual, it's all video all day long. That's what businesses have to think about. And authenticity is at the top of the list. Perfection is not. Right, so perfect videos is not what the business people on this, listen to this radio show should focus on. It's just getting something out there. It's authentic about you, giving value, giving insight to who you are, what you do, how you do it, and develop a relationship in that way.
Wow.
And just shoot as many videos as you can.
You have our attention. There's so much more in the book, so we'll have to read it because we're out of time. Let's see. I found it on Amazon. It is called Millennials Are Not Aliens. It's by Guy Costin. Guy spells his first name G-U-I. Do you have a website, Guy?
Yes, it's GuyCostin.com, so GUICOSTIN.com.
So is it fair to guess that the website is not a dying breed? We're still going to have websites, right? The kids still go to that stuff?
Oh, 100%. That's the first place they go. Right? They go to YouTube to check you out, then they'll go right to your website. And put it this way, I think there's an 88% more engagement on websites that have video versus text.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. You've given us some
websites with video.
You've given us some good advice. Thank you, Guy. Thank you for doing this, and good luck with everything.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks so much.
You're
Have
welcome.
a great day.
We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Another hot day on this Wednesday with sun and clouds. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm, high 91 at the coast, but 97 inland. Partly cloudy wind tonight, low 71 inland, 77 at the coast. Thursday, partly sunny with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm, especially near the coast, the high 88 at the coast, 93 inland. And for Friday, times of sun and clouds with a shower or thunderstorm, best chance in the afternoon over the interior, the high 87 at the coast, 91 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Special counsel Robert Mueller will testify in Congress about his report on Russian election meddling and questions of obstruction of justice publicly July 17th.
Now I hear Mueller's going to go yet again. I mean, how many times are we going to go through this stuff?
President Trump on Fox Business Network. New York Democrat Jerry Nadler chairs the House Judiciary Committee and says if the White House tries to stop Mueller...
I doubt that they would succeed because Mr. Mueller is an honest man and understands that that congressional subpoenas are not optional.
In Chicago, the president's son Eric Trump says he was spit on by a worker at a restaurant.
It reportedly happened at the Aviary cocktail bar on Tuesday night. The Chicago Police Department confirmed they assisted the Secret Service, but did not confirm if Eric Trump was the target. Trump telling Breitbart News, quote, "It was purely a disgusting act by somebody who clearly has emotional problems."
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. This is Fox News.
Pros know doing it right means having what you need for any job on hand, so you're spending more time on the job site than away from it. Lowe's does it right by stocking job lot quantities of treated lumber, fencing, and decking, and at the right prices. Get volume savings on your next job at the Pro Desk, and save time by ordering at lowesforpros.com. Have your order delivered or pick up in store. Our dedicated pro loaders will load you up and get you back to the job site where you belong. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. See Pro Desk for details, U.S. only.
With the Discover It Miles card, you can go further than you've ever gone before. Like sun on your face, book in your hand, kids playing in the sand further. Because the Discover It Miles card offers unlimited 1.5 miles on every purchase and will automatically match all the miles you earn at the end of your first year. So that means your 35,000 miles could become 70,000. It's just that easy. So get out there with your Discover It Miles card today. Limitations apply. Discover match for new card members only. Learn more at discover.com/travel.
Enjoy your independence from cooking with delicious meals from Honey Baked Ham. Stop by 2709 Southwest 27th Avenue behind Best Buy. Now open Sunday.
Attention WOCA listeners. Do you or someone you know have an outgoing personality with great organizational skills? Well, WOCA is looking for a few good people to join our marketing reps team. You get to meet other great people and business leaders in our community. WOCA Radio offers flexible schedules, great income potential, and some really great fringe benefits, too. So if you enjoy talking to people and getting paid to do it, this may be the right choice for you. Apply within or send your resumes to careers@woca.com. Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you are interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 25th Avenue in Ocala, any Wednesday at 7 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us. For more information, check OcalaBusinessLeaders.com.
My whole business just went up in flames, but my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owner's insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Visit George Mangan Insurance in Ocala today at manganinsurance.com.
PPIR is a networking group formed to serve the realtor and small business community. It primarily serves the real estate and construction industry, but is open to all businesses that provide any service or product to the real estate business community. PPIR has no membership dues or fees for attendees. The watchwords are keep it simple and maximize networking time. PPIR chapters meet 3 times monthly at different locations after normal business hours. For information on this, call 352-615-9412 or go to events at ppirevents.com. PPIR, professional people in real estate.
Rep Today is a one-day reptile event in Gainesville. It's June 29th at the Wyndham Garden at 2900 Southwest 13th Street. Call 863-268-4273 or go to Repticon.com for more information and to purchase tickets. It may not be Jurassic Park, but you'll encounter live animals and see thousands of reptiles and other exotic animals. Again, that's June 29th at the Wyndham Garden in Gainesville because kids of all ages love reptiles. Rep Today. Here are today's headlines from the source WOCA. For the past 2 weeks in Lake City, many systems such as emails and telephones have not been operating due to a malware attack. The only department not affected was police and fire because they operate on a different server. As time went on, city officials were faced with one solution. This month, Lake City administrators noticed things going wrong with their network. It was soon revealed that Lake City had become the victim of a cyber attack known as a triple threat. IT staff have been working with a third-party cybersecurity vendor as well as the Florida League of Cities, who is the insurance provider for the city, to try to recover as much as they can, according to a statement issued by Michael Lee, Lake City Police Department spokesperson. There were several attempts to get the networks back up and running, but there was no luck. It was then recommended by IT staff and a third-party vendor that there was only one thing left to do. About a week after the attack, the city received a ransom demand for 42 bitcoins, equivalent to $460,000 at the time. This was approved by the Emergency Council meeting on Monday night. It is unclear on how long it will take to get all systems back online. However, Mayor Witt says that the city is now working with experts to come up with recommendations to set up a system that would not be susceptible to this kind of attack again. The School Board of Marion County is preparing to hire a new superintendent for the first time in memory. Board members discussed how to go about hiring a superintendent at their meeting yesterday. One topic of interest in that meeting was on a policy change in regards to the superintendent. Current Superintendent Heidi Mayer was elected to that position in August 2016, and her term will expire in November 2020. This past November, voters chose to go from an elected superintendent to an appointed one. Since the November election, the school board has been working on different policies and the job description for the newly appointed superintendent. The school board has hired the search firm Ray & Associates to help in the process. The board has approved a contract with this firm, paying them $45,000 for their service. The new policies and job description was unanimously passed by the board. Board members hope to start the process of searching for a new superintendent in the next several weeks. A Florida man has been sentenced to 14 years in prison for a fatal crash. Charlotte County prosecutors say 25-year-old Michael Brutus was sentenced yesterday after pleading guilty to leaving the scene of a crash involving death. Authorities say Brutus was driving on US 41 in December of 2016 when he drove into a ditch and hit a road sign and a tree. His two passengers, Wesley Cherry and Brittany Benny, both died at the scene. Brutus fled the area after the crash, leading the Florida Highway Patrol investigators to initially believe Sherry and Benny had been driving. DNA from the driver's side airbag, however, connected Brutus to the crash. Vice President Mike Pence says the National Hurricane Center will improve its storm surge warnings this season thanks to 3 new satellites. After touring the center in Miami yesterday, Pence also said that for the first time the center will send timely storm surge warnings to Puerto Rico, which was devastated by hurricanes in 2017. Pence said the Federal Emergency Management Agency will boost the pre-positioning of storm supplies in response to storm predictions. U.S. weather officials are predicting a near-normal Atlantic hurricane season with 9 to 15 named storms in the season that runs from June through November. Pence said this year's storm prediction seems like better news than last year's, but that Americans must remain vigilant. He says it only takes one hurricane to cause a catastrophe. And Vice President Mike Pence says many families in South Florida fled socialist regimes and found freedom in the United States.
Latino Americans know that it was freedom, not socialism, that ended slavery, won 2 world wars, and stands today as a beacon of hope for all the world.
Pence was in Miami to launch Latinos for Trump, asking Hispanics to drum up support for the president's re-election to prevent Democrats from bringing socialism